Well, here we go. Part two. My name is Chips. I'm a sensuous pig. I guess it was during this time uh, that I discovered one's tongue to be an instrument of unsurpassed talents. It could not merely be forced in and out, but could be slithered around as it brought the slithery and the slitherer to peaks of ecstasy only Olympus had known. In combination with my lower half, I entertained 1,000 orgasms whose rhythm would drown out Santana as they beat in tune with the Mother Earth. It was all dreamed. Oh, it was all I dreamed college life to be. As my parents paid the bills, I maintained my grade point average through the use of my highly refined machine, whose fuel was lust and whose lubrication was saliva and well-formed and coated sperm. I would graduate with honors and perhaps go on to graduate work in the peak of my physical prowess. I found life to be a tree that bore fruit in such prolific manner as to always have some ripe fruit for the picking. But the test of fruit comes with eating, and there were yet many connoisseurs that had not yet dined on the cuisine, the likes of which I provided. As I worked my way from bed to bed, to the credits fell by the wayside. The experience never seemed to end. Just when one would end, and I thought that I had finally peaked out, another would be awaiting me just around the corner, or I'd find it sitting on the edge of my bed as I came home from another night of fun and frolic. The years passed, and I was turned on to smoke and found my sensitivity heightened. Then acid, and I came closer to that all-time orgasm that was at the end of my rainbow of delights. After several trips into the other world, I discovered that I had been searching for. That evening I reflected upon started with a tab of very pure, refined. I dropped with a chick of my choice, a fine piece of womanhood that I had sculptured in my mind years before. And with us there was my friend, who in his youth had managed to stimulate my tool on many occasions and was a Ph.D. in sensuous delights of the tongue. As we began to get off, the three of us slithered into my two-man tub and we lathered each other up for the orgasm of a lifetime. Everything was ideal. The chick was up for the action and dude was happy in his AC/DC world. Three in the tub tripping as one, good vibrations overflowed from the bathroom to the double bed. As the warm breath of my friend heated my private parts, and as and the lips of the chick melted into those of my own, the three of us became one, and we tripped into that last corner of the Garden of Delights. The evening was such a magnitude that nothing before or after could compare to such sensations. After that night, and the orgasm in which galactic dust was transformed into cosmic cum, it was all downhill. I searched for that one more delight, but it was not to be found. If only I could reflect back again and have that very experience, would be well with the world. But memories, although at times vivid, are never vivid enough. I could never create the experience as it was, for I was always left out some part. As much as I tried, I could not repeat the entire night, although my dreams were ever consumed in the attempt. It was a long, senseless summer that year, and although I entertained the repeat of all sensitivities I had previously known, that one experience still escaped me. It was in the fall of that year that I came into contact with a professor who understood the patterns and operation of the brain as one might know an automobile and how the internal combustion engine functions. After several heavy sessions with him, I was convinced that the experience of a lifetime could in fact be recreated. We first tried hypnosis and it worked better than I had been able to reflect, but I still wasn't all that I wanted it to be. There was a great deal of work being done on electrode stimulation, and it didn't take the pair of us very long to realize this was where we would be headed. I entertained the stimulation of my physical pleasure center with electrodes directed by the neurosurgeon. I saw a flash in the night of that perfect orgasm, and the electrode was firmly placed deep within that pleasure center. I had reached an orgasm and felt as though I had lived again that moment I would put within the time capsule of delights. That was some time ago. You'll have to excuse me while I plug myself in. My name is Chips, and I am a sensuous pig. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was written, as I said, for this kid I met named Chips, who was a freshman at the time, and bet me I couldn't write a story about him, and I went back to my room and I typed that out and gave it to him the next morning, and hopefully he still has a copy, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Uh, this is, needless to say, adult entertainment, and I'd even sent this to the FND guys who I correspond with periodically. We go back and forth in little splurts where in one day we'll communicate 3 or 4 times and then not communicate for a couple of months. But I sent it to them and asked them their opinion, and they thought I should include it with a bunch of other short stories I wrote and try to get it published. Uh, but they said it was little too narrative for them to do in one of theirs, and they like doing their own original work, which I totally understand. But if you enjoyed this, please let me know. It's a different side of me, and I have many stories I've written over the years that I might someday try to compile. But I hope you enjoyed it, and that's my name is Rocky, not Chips, and don't mix up the two. Thank you very much.